Welcome to the 2021 Central State University Marauder Athletics Virtual Hall of Fame induction and featuring our 6 individual inductees. And right now we're joined by one of our inductees, Ms. Sherdon Smith. Congratulations and welcome to the Central State University Hall of Fame. Of course, we'll get to your resume, your accomplishments, your acknowledgments. But very first question is, when you learned the news that you would be inducted, what went through your mind?
I was surprised. I was shocked, but surprised, because when Floyd asked me 2 years ago, right before COVID, for my information, and I gave it all to him. And when it didn't happen, I was like, okay, well, everything shut down, so I guess they're not going to do anything. But this year, when you called me and said that who you were, and you were from Central State and you were athletics and the Hall of Fame, I was like, oh wow, this is happening. So it was surprised, because when it first came in, I was like, okay, should I be honest? First, great, about time, because that's what I actually said, because it was like, oh, wow, this is really happening at this time. It is really happening. So it was surprise, but it's overdue. If you don't mind me saying, it's overdue, but I'm excited. I'm excited.
Excellent. And for those that are watching this interview, our 6 inductees, Sherdon got the most votes of the 6 inductees.
Oh my goodness.
Didn't know that.
No, I saw it on the email, but I was like, oh, wow, really? I guess it's because it's one of the first 4 that enter Central State, that puts Central State really on the map in terms of track and field. So I'm honored. I'm excited for that crown. I'm excited.
And we'll talk a lot more about those great teams that you were on, your individual success, of course, some great coaches on those teams. But before we get into that, just take us before Central State, your journey and what ultimately led you to Central State.
Oh my goodness. So my sister is the reason why I'm running track. My older sister, because being in primary school, we have what we call sports day. Over here in the United States, they call it field day. And our sports day lasts for like a week, whereas field day here in the United States just take maybe 2 days. So ours is like you're on the big stage, sort of, because you're running all these events and you have different houses. So you're competing against, your classmates and teammates, kids in the school that are in different houses, like red houses, car houses, that kind of thing. So my sister was always getting all the glory, per se, running. And I'm like, okay, what about me? What about me? And she's the reason why I started running, because she was the fastest in my primary elementary school. But the thing about that is I always got hurt. Every time I go out for sports day, I'm either broke a shoulder bone or I end up hurting my foot where I didn't get to participate. So it all started at my secondary school level, which would be next to a high school. It started there when we got, again, she was in a different house than I was because of our last names, of course. And I was like, okay, every event that you're in, I am going to be in it. And I end up where I beat her in so many of the different races that it sets me, we end up being, okay, there's sisters, oh my goodness. So that's how I got started into track. It's to where I went to a high school Veer Technical High School, of course. And I was on their team because the coaches, I used to run barefoot, of course. We used to run barefooted and grass and the dirt track. And of course, it was just like going out running, like you're outside, and it's fun. So that's how I got started. My sister, and then leading up to high school, where I went to Veer Technical High School, and it started from there, where I get to represent Jamaica. When I'm in high school, we would, travel. We went to the pen relays. I won 4 plaques with my team, and some of those girls were at Central with me. So it's been a long journey. So I am very proud of my extensive track and field career. It was not easy being from a single mom, a single home, mom that raises 7 children. It's not easy. So I'm proud to say that I did them well, did my family proud to be the only child that made it to college, that were able to get a college scholarship and to be where I am today. It's all because of track and field, the dedication, the hard work. It is not easy. It is hard. And you have to have that mentality, what you want out of life, to get to where I am. So I am very excited. I am very proud.
Excellent. Excellent. And of course, you mentioned you're from Jamaica.
Yes.
Right? And we had a lot of folks come from Jamaica and in the Bahamas and all over the world come to Central State in Ohio to run track and field. But so what drew you to Central State?
So repeat your question. I'm sorry. I'm so excited.
Sure. The Jamaican students, Bahamian students, students from all over the world coming to Central State, Ohio to run track and field. What drew you to Central State? So
I remember when I came to Chicago. We went to Chicago. It was 4 of us from Veer Tech, my high school, Veer Technical High School, along with other students from other high school in Jamaica, was nominated to represent Jamaica at the Keebler Games. And that was in the 90s. And when I came, if I backtrack, when we got here to Chicago and entered into my hotel room, and just as I put my luggage down, per se, the phone rang. And I was like, one of my teammates answered the phone, and it was like, Sherdon, it's for you. Actually, they go, Bones, it's for you, because that's the name I was called, because I'm tiny, so everybody called me Bones. And I'm like, who could that be? I don't know anybody here. And I answered the phone, and I heard a voice, and the voice said, hello, is this Sherdon Smith? And I said, yes. And it was Josh Culbreth. And he goes, I'll be watching you. And I'm like, it's so, it was like, you're going to be watching me. He said, I'm Coach Josh Culbreth, and I'll be watching you. I've got my eyes on you. And I'm like, okay. So I got off the phone and I got really excited, because a coach from the United States is going to be looking at me perform at this Keebler game. So that's where it all started in the back of my mind. Okay, I got a coach looking at me, so I got to go out there and perform. So in that sense, that's how we came to Central State. And my last year at Very Technical, when the paperwork came to Jamaica, they're stuck in the embassy for a long time. So we didn't get here until October. We didn't get here until October. And the funny thing about that is when we came here, they were like, we brought snow because it never snowed. They were like, it never snowed in October. But when we came here, there was a snowstorm. It was a snowstorm. It took a little tiny plane to get us to Cincinnati because they were having trouble having to fly the big airplane because of the snow. So we all came from, I think, Atlanta to Cincinnati in a small plane. We were all wondering, oh my God, are we going to crash? Because it was so rough in the air. So we landed and then got off the plane, and I knew exactly the moment I saw Josh Culbreth, I knew who he was even before seeing him. So that's how I end up at Central State.
That's excellent. And when you made it safely, we thank God for
we made it safely.
State and the coaches and the team. And of course, history making program, right?
Yes.
You were part of a program that altogether throughout the 90s won 7 national titles, the women's program. I think one of those teams went to the White House.
Yes, we did.
And, all of those things, and then combining that with all the individual success. And let's just be honest, world-renowned talent, not just NAIA talent. We're talking folks that went to the World Games, to the Olympics, to nationals, the highest stage you can get to. Just talk about being in the room, being on the track, sharing those moments with all this great talent.
So it's when you're in that room, it's like you're on the biggest stage next to the Olympics, because that's what it is. It's a feeling that, you're all there to compete. You're all there for one thing, and it's to win. It's to beat everybody else and to stand on the top of that podium and on that stage to hold that plaque up to say, yes, we are the best. It's that feeling of accomplishment. It's knowing that you have teammates that's going to, if you falter in a relay, there's someone that's going to pick you up. Do you know what I mean? So it's a fulfilling feeling. It's a rewarding feeling to know that you have people in the same room that has the same talent. That it's surmountable. It's I can't really explain it. There's no word for it. To know that 4 of us, the 4 girls, because it was 4 of us that first came, the 4 girls that we worked our feet off. I want to say we worked, and to know that we go out there and we one for all and all for one, and we laid it out there to know that we put Central State on the map. 4 of us win a title. It was awesome. And then the following year, the years after, to continue to get those talents. And some of those talents is from my high school, of course, and some from another high school, to come over and to build. It was awesome to know that we were unbeatable. It just brings so much back. It's amazing.
And for those folks, I just want to reemphasize, for the folks watching who perhaps weren't there in the 90s,
yes.
In some cases, the sport of track and field may get overlooked,
yes.
A dominant team, Central State, a dominant track team, on any level.
Yes.
The women's track, 7 national title, the men, of course, with 3, 10 altogether. And folks often talk about men and women's teams being separate, but you guys are really together.
We were one cohesive team. Knowing that we were all Jamaicans. We had a few Americans on the team, of course, but knowing that we're all from the same place and knowing what or that our families struggles, some more than others, to be where we are and to come in, to get the opportunity to come to America and to get a scholarship and to get an education while running, it's amazing, you know. So it's I don't take anything for granted. I give God thanks every day. I give thanks for my mother every day, and for Josh Culbrecht, who brought us here to give us the opportunity to put Central State on the map, and to Dr. Arthur E. Thomas, that was the president, he never missed a track meet. He never missed a track meet. If he's not there on the first day, he's going to be there on the final day to make sure to let us see him, that he's there with us and that he's rooting on with us. It was amazing. I wish we could go back in time. Seriously, I wish we could go back in time to just do it all over again. I wish I could go back to those days, because those memories, you don't forget those memories. Working in the cafeteria. You know, I have a picture right now that I just found, working in the cafeteria. Working in the cafeteria. And after working in the cafeteria, you know, got to get ready for practice, you know, be on the trot by 5. You know, it's that dedication. It takes dedication.
I can tell as we're talking and you're reflecting back, you're going through all these memories. I'm sure things are flashing, you know, through your mind.
Yes.
But if you had to narrow it down to your absolute favorite moment, your number one moment as a Central State student athlete.
Oh my God. Oh, if I have to narrow it down, I would say graduate as a Central State student athlete is when I get my degree. To know that I got my degree. Okay, I came, I studied, I ran, and at the end of it, I got a degree out of all of it. So that would be my biggest accomplishment.
And if I could take a second to brag to our audience, we're talking with Sherdon Smith, 2021 Hall of Fame inductee. This is a young lady that is a 25-time NAIA All-American. 25-time, that's hard to do, but her most proud moment is getting that degree.
Yes.
So for students that are watching, former athletes, you talk about your coaches, the former president, Dr. Thomas. There was definitely an emphasis not only to be dominant on the track, but to go and get that degree. That's
yes, because for Dr. Thomas, every time that he would see us, whether it's in the gym, practicing, every time his favorite word was, and go to the library. You always have to, you always end his sentences on go to the library, because you go to the library, you know you're studying in the library and you're there for a reason, and is to get that degree. And I am proud of myself. I am proud of everyone. We did an amazing job. We did an amazing job. And for Coach that just passed, my heart, I just found this. This was taken at Philadelphia, the Penn Relays. First year at Central State, our Penn Relays. So he means a lot to me. His family, I also would like to thank the family. Coach Josh Culbrecht, Jahan Culbrecht, Jean Culbrecht, and Camille Culbrecht. They are like, I shouldn't say like, they are family. Camille and we're sisters, we're blood. Jahan, they means a lot. And I hold all of us that came to Central, hold them a lot of gratitude and a lot of thanks, because I know for me, without them giving me that opportunity, who knows what my life would be right now.
And what's exciting is you as an inductee, as of today, officially a Hall of Fame inductee, join your former coach, join some of those other teammates, and you go in with another track and field standout in Beverly. Yeah.
Beverly. Yes. So Beverly was after she came during my junior to senior year. So yes. So joining her, of course, we all run together and run beside each other in high school.
Wow.
In high school. She's from a different high school than I went to. So, you know, we were all friends and we see in competition, girl, you know, this is mine. But, you know, it's all in the spirit. But yes, we have a lot to be thankful for. And I give all thanks to Josh Colbrecht, who brought us here to Central to give us that opportunity to showcase our talent and to do what he saw in us. He saw that we had the talent and he went after us. Because even when we were at Central, we had other coaches coming up to us and saying we need to transfer. Where's Central State? Transfer, come to our school. And we're like, no, we're gonna stay at Central. Central is it. So Marauders all the way.
You talk a lot about Coach Colbrecht and what he did for you and for that team. Of course, recently passed away, but wow, what a life well lived, right? Talk about your own journey after track and field. You know, we can't compete forever, right?
Right.
But talk about what you've done since, you know, sort of the collegiate days, since you kind of transitioned from competing on the top stage.
So since leaving college, I'm now a mother of 5 kids, 5 beautiful kids, that also picked up into their dad and I footsteps, are all runners except for one, of course, not going to hold that against her. But I've been a coach. I'm now a teacher. I've been coaching middle school and high school students to the next level, taking them to the next level. Was a part of a state championship for Meadowdale High School where my daughter attended. Her dad, Wayne Lawrence, who was also a part of Central State track team, also from Jamaica, helped that team, coached that team to a national championship in Columbus. My children now graduate from, my daughter graduated from LSU. My son is at the University of Iowa, where his freshman year, he was the Big Ten champion indoor and outdoor freshman. So I'm proud of what I have accomplished and my journey. I am now a physical education teacher at Trotwood Prep and Fitness Academy, where I'm trying to mold these younger generation into, you know, students or student athlete, for preparing them for our future, you know. So that's where my life is. My son, Frederick, is also now in the Army. So he's also a part of the Meadowdale Lions track team where he ran. So we have a family of runners. So, and I'm very proud of my success and my accomplishments. I was a teacher of the year, long ways back, but teacher of the year nevertheless. Keeping up, trying to keep these students in shape and doing what they need to do.
Excellence on the track and later excellence in the professional career. That's impressive.
Yes.
Well-
still out there beating the track team, coaching during the summer, coach high school students, USTFA track meets and stuff like that. So we're still in it. Haven't given it up. It's hard to give up when it's all it's hard to do.
That's excellent. That's excellent. Well, as we talk about all these great memories and of course the recent accomplishments, and even your children's great accomplishments,
Oh,
great
yeah.
resume there, for perhaps future Hall of Famers as well. We want to give these last moments of this interview. This is your stage, to acknowledge those formally that you want to recognize, and to just talk a little bit about the main feelings, how you feel about being inducted into the Hall of Fame.
I want to give thanks to my mom, because without her, I wouldn't be sitting here. If she didn't give birth to me, I wouldn't have accomplished any of this. So I would like to acknowledge her, even though she is not present right here. I want to acknowledge Miss Inez Hopkins, single mom who did all she can for her 7 children. To Josh Culbreth again, who I'm about to break down. To Josh Culbreth Pops, who saw something in me, a talent, and offered me a scholarship to Central State. Leaving Jamaica, coming here and having no family except for Josh Culbreth and his family, Jahan. I want to thank them, and to Dr. Thomas, who had to have signed off on that paperwork, because if he didn't say okay, none of this would be possible. So thanks to Dr. Arthur E. Thomas as well, and to the Hall of Fame committee who nominated me. Talk to Mr. Lefty Martin, who was always there at the starting line, and to Floyd, who made this all possible. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. And to everyone that had a hand in me being where I am today. There's so many, I can't name everybody. So thanks from the bottom of my heart. And to, once again, Josh, Camille, Jahan, and the Culbreth family, they're ever so dear to me. So I want to give them thanks. And I appreciate all that they have done for me. There are times when I didn't want to be at Central State, and I wanted to go home, because being from another country, you get homesick and want to go home. We get to go to Pop's house. We have a home cooked meal, So I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you.
And powerful words, and of course, message of gratitude there to former coach and mother and family members. Sherdon Smith, officially 2021 Hall of Fame Marauder Athletic inductee. You said earlier, maybe a little bit overdue, but I'm sure it's I'm sure it's sweet. I'm sure it's a sweet feeling. And
yes,
of course,
it is.
And of course, we can't wait when we're able to celebrate a little bit more formally in person, which we hope to do so in the springtime. But there it is, the plaque that we will present to you.
Oh my goodness.
And we can't wait to celebrate in person Sherdon Smith, 2021 inductee, part of a class of 6 inductees. Sherdon Smith, thank you once again. Congratulations, an honor well earned and deserved.
Yes, and to just something else that I've also been inducted into the Penn Relays Hall of Fame, Wall of Fame, and that was shocking. I couldn't believe that I was inducted into that for our record-breaking 4x4 relay team that we ran, that I ran on, anchored. I anchored that relay in high school. It was shocking. So within 2 years, I've been inducted into a Hall of Fame. I can't believe that a barefoot, skinny, black-skinned girl run barefooted. It goes by the name Bones. Is a Central State Hall of Fame and a Penn Relay Hall of Famer. Wall of Fame. It is. Oh my God. This I can say is, oh my God. It is a blessing. It is a blessing and an honor. So I appreciate it. And I'm very humble. Very humble. 4 championship rings from Central State. I should have put them on.
Well, there'll be time to do that when we have this in-person ceremony. You can walk around with a little bit of bling on. You know, I know there's some football guys that have, you know, a few rings themselves, but I'm not sure if they have 4. And
I don't think so. I don't think any of them has 4 because I have 4 from which each event on it, and each year is written on them. I can't believe that we accomplished a lot. We did a lot at Central State.
And
we did a lot.
And most of those records, for those of you that are watching, and once again, unfamiliar with what exactly happened here in the 90s, a lot of these records with our women's program, women's track and field program, still stand today. Whether it's myself, Sherdon Smith, Carolyn Sterling, who's still on campus in our library, holds a lot of Dion Hemmings, who of course went on to win gold, and all the, I mean, the list goes on of the ladies competed with. That just amazing accomplishments. And even today, you know, I'm on campus quite a bit. And we talk with our track athletes today about, hey, Walker Gymnasium makes champions, you know?
Yes, because that's where we practice. We indoor when it's cold. And that rubbery floor, that's not even a 200 meter, it's less than a 200-meter track, and have to run turns in that gym, running 600 in that gym, round and round, running the straight hallways, yelling, look out, come in, move out the way, because we're coming down the hallway. It is so mind-blowing. I still hold the records for the 1,000 meter that I ran indoors in Kansas City on that wooden floor. At Central State. That I don't think they're going to have anyone break those records. And it's so for the rest of us, the rest of the athletes there, my teammates, them that set records, those records are going to be forever in that record book at Central.
And this is what I love for those of you that are watching, when we talk to our track and field athletes, especially the ladies that were on those teams in the 90s. A lot of them are, you know, pretty cool, calm and collected until you start talking about records, competition.
Oh my goodness.
Eyes light up. And that's every single one that I talk to, a competitive group.
Yes, we are, because to be honest, I remember we went to Lubbock, Texas for our championship. And the night before I was to perform, I was in the hospital. I was in the hospital, and I remember crawling on my hands and my knees trying to get to the lobby because I was so sick, and telling them that I couldn't move, feel like I was going to die. And they rushed me to the hospital there, and they said, honey, you're not going to run tomorrow. I said, yes, I am. Yes, I am. My event, my 800 is at 1 o'clock, and I'm looking at the time, and I said at 1 o'clock, I am getting out of here, and I will be on that track. I leave that hospital room and went straight to the track and asked me, did I win that track? Did I win that race?
Well, I think I already know the answer. But
yes, I did.
and
yes,
that just
I did.
shows you, you talked a little bit before, winning a national title early on with really only what, about four and a half, we'd say 4.5. Sometimes I hear that number. I mean, you talk about the ladies that you competed with and the multiple events that you all ran and won and dominated for so many years.
It's mind-boggling, seriously, when you think about it. When you think about the amount of talent that was on that team and what we have accomplished, there is no word for it, really. There is no word for it. There is no way to put it into words. You know, you would had to have been there to see what we have, just to see it, because I seriously cannot put it into word. I'm being honest. But to know that you are there for each other, you're there for one thing, and it's to bring that championship home. We were the first Black college to win indoor and outdoor in the same year. And right after we did it, Texas A&M, I think, did it. And they were the first. I'm like, oh no, you all were not the first. Central State University in Wilberforce was the first to do that. So, and we didn't just compete against NAIA schools. No, Pop took us to the top meets. He took us to all the top meets that he could get us into. And we were letting them count our spike snails, because when we set foot on that track, we were let them know that we are here to win, even though we were not as big as they were, but we were mighty in talent. We were a small group of students, athletes from a tiny little highland, but boy, were we powerful when we set foot on that track. We have coaches coming up to us to say, boy, where are you from? Where are you from? And I normally wear my Jamaica's tights that, you know, if you can see my little picture right here, I normally wear that when I'm at a trap meet so they can see that Jamaica stripe on there, that the name Jamaica. And they go, oh, that's it. Yeah. So it's amazing. It's amazing. And I am proud of each and every one of us that set foot at Central State that ran. I am proud of each and every one of us.
In a few words that I use to describe those teams: excellence, dominance, and of course, one of the great track and field dynasties you mentioned on any level, D1, D2, D3, NAI, it really didn't matter. We were the best.
We were the best. I remember we went to California for the spring break, but it wasn't it was over the spring break, but we were running. I competed against one of the United States top 800-meter runner at the time, Susie Hamilton Favors. And she was one of the top athletes in the NCAA. And I remember running her to the wire. I remember running her to the wire. Also, Joetta Clark at Ohio State in the rain. I remember that track meet as if it was yesterday. And Jahan and coach came up to me when to be honest, I did not want to run that meet because it was, when I looked around me, it was so many other athletes. It was like, oh, she's the only one from that school. That's how every other school have 3 and 4 athletes in an event, in the same event. And I'm looking around, I'm like, oh my God. And Joetta Clark, a United States top 800-meter runner at that time, was in that event. And I was like, I can't beat her. I cannot run with her. And I look across at my coach and he said, don't you do that. Don't you dare do that. And the moment that gun went off, she had to catch me at the line.
Wow.
She had to catch me at the line because once the gun sounded, it was over. It was, there it was. There it was.
That's excellent.
Even though I was running and tears are rolling down my eyes because it was so cold, there it was. I will never forget that race. Neither will I forget coming out of the hospital with that name tag on my arm, stepping on that track. From just coming out of the hospital, stepping foot on that track, running that 800 and coming back to run that 4x4 to give our school the gold. We'll never forget those. Those are memories that we'll never forget. I will be telling to my grandchildren.
And
it's a pleasure.
And of course, the newest honor being an inductee. We're talking with Sherdon Smith, 2021 Hall of Fame inductee, and that's a well-earned honor and something that will stay with you forever and stay with your family forever. And
yes.
As a matter of fact, let me share this story. We're going off script, I know, but I'll share this story. We had a young lady come in campus today, and she asked when the Hall of Fame would be redone. We're remodeling things on campus, as most people know. Her grandmother was an inductee, 1991 inductee, played tennis here back in the 50s. And now you have her granddaughter coming back a student here on campus and looking to recognize her grandmother. So those are the type of stories and recognition that comes with being a Hall of Fame member.
Yes, it's a great honor, and it's a humbling feeling to know that your name will be etched in the wall at your alma mater for years and years and years to come. It's a privilege. It's really is a privilege, something that I don't take lightly and will never take it lightly. So it's an honor. My kids were coming in town. They won't be here until tomorrow because they were trying to come in to go to this. They're a little disappointed, but they're still coming to celebrate regardless. So we're hoping that, fingers crossed, toes crossed, that we will get to do this in person. So, you know, families could be there, but it's really is a humbling feeling. It's really humbling. That's all I can say.
And of course, an honor for you, but I think more so an honor for the Central State community, honor for us to be able to talk and honor your accomplishments. And of course, for those that are watching, we will have an in-person ceremony honoring the 2021 class when it's safe to do so in the spring, and the further announcements will come from that. Sherdon Smith, 2021 Hall of Fame inductee. Once again, congratulations, well-deserved honor. We thank you for joining us, and we thank all the inductees for joining us today. And we'll be featuring them throughout the day, the 6 individuals that go into the Hall of Fame. It is official. Sherdon Smith, 2021 Marauder Athletic Hall of Fame inductee. Congratulations.
Thank you so much for that honor. I appreciate it so much. Thank you.
And thank you to everyone for watching. You can see these interviews on replay on all of our social media networks, as well as maraudersports.com. We hope to see you guys out throughout the season and throughout many more seasons to come as we celebrate Marauder Athletics. Have a good evening.